Yo, YK's Boxing Chat is back once again. Now today I want to discuss with you guys the conversation about Chris Eubank Jr and Conor Benn. The fight that was meant to happen this time last year, literally on the 8th of October last year, but unfortunately Conor Benn returned an adverse finding and tested positive for clomiphene, so the bout couldn't the bout couldn't go ahead. In the meantime, Chris Eubank Jr.'s career has had ups and downs. He lost the fight to Liam Smith in January this year. He got stopped in four rounds, and then he managed to avenge his defeat, and he put down a one-sided beatdown on Liam Smith, who did not look himself on the night, but albeit Chris Eubank Jr. came in and avenged the loss in September. Now, since then, Conor Benn's also returned to the ring. We know that, he's had these long-awaited drugs ban, etc. Well, not a ban, but a suspension that was lifted, which meant that he was able to fight in the US. Still not able to fight in the UK yet, but he did have a fight in Orlando in the US, and he got a points victory over a tough, durable guy. So obviously there's been a lot of back and forth since then, and the rematch, it looks like it's set to happen. Where it's going to happen, we don't know. But as Hearn has clearly mentioned, it's either going to take place here. Hopefully they want it to take place here because it's a huge fight in Britain. Outside of AJ versus Fury, I can't think of a bigger fight. Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank, or Eubank versus Benn, is a huge fight in Britain. And of course they want to make it here, but if the British Boxing Board of Control are not going to try and meet them halfway, then it's got to be taken abroad, I guess. They're going to make a lot of money in the Middle East. We know where that's where all the cash is. But yeah, man, I think it's a good fight for boxing. I think that both fighters kind of need that fight. I feel like for Chris Eubank, if he beats Conor Benn, so he avenges his loss to Liam Smith, and then he goes and beats Conor Benn in what would be a huge rivalry. He would make so much money. He will, his star power will grow even more. Like, I don't think Chris Eubank Jr. will ever be a world champion, but if he can get these big wins, Liam Smith rematch, Conor Benn beats him, it's surely a good end to his career. He's had quite a long career, and I don't think he's got that much longer left in the sport. But if he can start putting together some impressive wins to cash out, then what an exit plan for Chris Eubank Jr. Conor Benn, we know he's on a mission to revive his career. Here's a man who wants to silence all his doubters. He wants to silence all the people that are accusing him of taking the drugs. Fair play to him. He's had a hard time, believe it or not. At the end of the day, he's a human being. Whatever people think he cheated or didn't cheat, Conor's a human being. He's taken a lot of abuse online. He's had a lot of, mistreatment from various different people in the media. And we've seen the same energy hasn't been kept for certain other fighters who have tested positive for drugs. So, yeah, Conor's been treated unfairly, regardless of how you want to look at it, in my opinion. And I feel like if he was to win this fight, he kind of puts himself back on that pedestal. Everyone was on the Conor Benn hype train before all of that stuff came out with the Chris Eubank fight last year. It's since then a lot of people have kind of, written him off and all that kind of stuff. But I do believe that if Conor Benn was to go in and win this fight against Chris Eubank, he kind of erases all of the doubts in people's minds. Because ever since then, we know he's been tested.